Hi, it's Panda Movies here. Today, I'm going to explain episode 9 of the drama and the survival Korean TV show named Squid Game. Warning, there are spoilers ahead. Enjoy the video. The final episode of Squid Game opens with the darkest and most tense sequence yet, with former childhood friends and allies Gi-hun and Sang-woo, previously caught in a violent confrontation, and now about to play the final game. Squid Game. Gi-hun stares down Sang-woo before finally choosing offense after winning the toss coin. The game begins and Gi-hun is seen to be struggling against a much more physically imposing Sang-woo, but the rage he has for him killing Bae-ok the episode before fuels him to fight back and win. Squid Game was the same game that Gi-hun and Sang-woo played as children in one of the previous episodes. The main objective of the game is for the players to get into the triangle of the squid-shaped playing field by any means necessary. It comes full circle for the former friends, playing against each other in a game they used to win together as children. As they are playing, emotions are pouring with Gi-hun confronting Sang-woo. What if he was on the tile ahead of him in game 5? Would he have pushed him like he did to the man? The hesitation in Sang-woo gives Gi-hun the confirmation that Sang-woo is a ruthless killer and was far gone from the genius he used to know growing up. The rage, disgust, and betrayal that Gi-hun feels towards his childhood friend played a huge deal in the way he played the final game. The emotions that were pouring were enjoyed by the VIPs watching. As expected, it ends in an all-out brawl with Sang-woo attempting to end Gi-hun using the knife he used to kill Bae-ok, but he ends up on the ground instead. Gi-hun was about to walk towards the triangle to claim victory when he remembers who he is. Instead, he walks towards one of the guards and tells him that he quits the game, reminding him of the third rule of consent. If the majority agrees, the game stops. He proceeds to go back to Sang-woo and tells him that they can get out of that place. Sang-woo sincerely apologizes, then dives his knife into his own neck. Gi-hun looks at his dying friend and screams in agony. The overflowing emotions of anger, grief, betrayal, and trauma that Gi-hun experienced in the games is one thing he will carry heavier than the prize money he was about to take home. The next scene cuts to that of Gi-hun back in the real world. He heads home only to find out his mother had died and intensifies the guilt and grief he is already feeling because of the nightmare he just had to live through. He chances upon Sang-woo's mother, who stuffs his hand with mackerel, and in exchange, he tries to give her 10,000 won. She asks him where Sang-woo is, and this triggers his trauma, being reminded of what had happened to his friend. As he is still in a bit of a haze, desperately trying to filter his nightmare from reality, he proceeds to the ATM, and upon checking his account using the credit card stuffed in his mouth when he wakes up, he realizes that he is indeed 45 billion won richer. However, there is no joy there, because it only confirmed that the hell he went through was indeed real, and the deaths of the people that came to mean something to him were indeed real. The scene cuts to a year later. Gi-hun is summoned by his back, asking him yet again to sign up for VIP status. It is revealed that Gi-hun has not touched his money, and the bank manager advised him that he can make interest. Gi-hun is not paying attention to him and only asks to borrow 10,000 won before leaving. In the past year, Gi-hun has been living his old life, just sitting by the sea, drinking alcohol, and getting into fights. A woman comes to sell him flowers, and he buys a bunch of them. Upon inspecting the flowers, he finds a card with the Squid Game insignia and an address, a message from the games. He goes to the address that was stated in the card, hoping to find answers himself. In the huge top-floor apartment, he finds Man, player 001, the old man who was supposedly killed after losing in the marble game. He is alive, although not for long, and laying in a hospital bed. The unit had nothing but the old man's bed and a few hospital apparatus that's been keeping him alive. It turns out that Man is the host of the games and the face behind the bedazzled rabbit mask. Gi-hun is stunned, but this is quickly replaced with rage. He wants to understand why he is hosting these games and why did he let him win and survive the marble game. Man reveals that he is a gambler like them who gambled their way through the games. He has money to spend and made money from lending it. However, the sickness that he disclosed to Gi-hun during the games was real, and he wanted to feel how fun it felt to play the game compared to just watching. Ilnam makes it seem like he was hosting the games in order to give people a second chance, and for those that do not make it, they are already forgotten by the rest of the world to begin with, so they will not be missed. No matter what Ilnam's reasons were, he was still just as immoralistic as the rest of the VIPs, that enjoyed the pain, suffering, and deaths of the players as their source of entertainment. Ilnam makes a final bet with Guy Hun right there. He will tell him more if someone comes to help the drunk man on the sidewalk below them by the time the clock strikes 12, about 20 minutes away. He would even let Guy Hun kill him with his bare hands if he wanted to. Guy Hun waited with bated breath, and just as it seemed like no one was going to help the drunk man, police came to help. They were summoned by the lady that walked past the drunk man earlier. Ilnam's eyes close, but Guy Hun does not appear to be satisfied, but his sense of trust just completely crumbles. The scene cuts to Guy Hun entering the salon and asking the hairdresser to give him the same haircut of the model with red hair on the poster, the exact same. After his appointment in the salon, he proceeds to get himself a smart-looking suit and goes to pick up Se-byok's younger brother, Kang Chil, and brings him to Sang-woo's mother. He leaves his friend's mother a suitcase full of money. Inside the suitcase, he left a note saying that the money was what he had owed Sang-woo, fulfilling his promise of in some way, taking care of their loved ones. The next sequence is of Guy Hun in his shiny blue suit and flaming red hair, casually strolling with his luggage in the subway. He is on the phone with his daughter Georgia Yeon, and it turns out he is on his way to visit his daughter in the United States. However, before he could get on the train, he sees the same salesman that gave him the calling card playing dachi with another poor gambler being smacked around like he was. Guy Hun immediately drops everything and races his way towards the opposite side of the subway, but the salesman was already inside the train, waving goodbye and smiling cockily at him. The cheek-bruised gambler is still in a bit of a daze on the side. He seizes him by the neck and snatches the card from him. Now at the airport, about to board the plane, Guy Hun calls the number on the card and introduces himself. He is addressed by the person on the other line as 456 and tells him to board the plane. That's best for him. This angers Guy Hun. He presses that he is not a horse, but a person. He demands to know who they are and how they can go on with these atrocities. Despite the trauma that he went through, Guy Hun clearly remembers who he is and what the fact that he can't stand, knowing that the games that claim the lives of countless people only looking for a second chance at life still go on. He does not get on the plane.